Okay, I want to do a greenhouse with logs. And why? Well, we live in a log home and I thought it would be really cool to also have a greenhouse made by logs. So on this spot behind the garage, we used to have a regular greenhouse, but it started to get old and wobbly and we decided to build a new one. So the first we had to do was to fix the ground. We dig 2 holes and fill them with gravel. In these holes we put the concrete stones as foundation. Above we then laid down a weed barrier fabric and filled it all with gravel. I then sawed the log squared and with a measurement of 8 by 8. In the ends I made cuts so the logs would lock together and placed them on the foundation. Now the base was done and the logs was locked in all directions. In the corners we erected 2 posts that will hold the ridgepole, and on the base I also put down sheet metal as cover for rain and moisture. The whole construction will be 4 by 3 meters and the height around 250. There will be glasses on all sides and a sliding door for entrance. For the roof we will use white corrugated polycarbonate so the sunlight can get in. So here we go, let's do the rest and finish our log greenhouse. From the old greenhouse I have saved all the windows and they had the measurement of 61 by 150 centimeters. So my plan was to do a framework with the same size so I could reuse all the windows. It was now time to do the door opening. The size of the glasses had decided how wide it would be, and I think it was approximately 90 centimeters. But I hadn't figured out the construction yet. The only thing I knew was that it would be a sliding door, but this would be a later problem. Right now I needed to fix the ridgepole. Before I could put the ridgepole in place, I needed to do the framework on the top. Here we will have smaller windows that we have to order and cut in right size. I also needed to paint the log before I put it up, and I'm using a regular wood oil with a light brown color in the stain. Now when the ridgepole was done, I could do the last framework on the sides. These openings were 61 by 61 centimeter, and here I also could reuse the old windows. So now all the framework was done, but this was only the first part of the construction. On the second part I had a very cool idea with a special log in mind. And here we have a beautiful log that I have saved for a couple of years. A real centerpiece that I thought would be perfect as a post for the second half of the greenhouse. Before I could erect the log, I had to secure it properly. In the foundation there was a pre-cut hole where I could put the screw-threaded bar. First I drilled a hole in the log and then I put the tar paper between the foundation and the log. You do this because concrete absorbs water, and if you don't use tar paper, then the log will rotten. The ridgepole was now secured, and I thought the rest of the greenhouse should have some color. It was time to put up the rafters. I used 2x4s and laid them 60 cm apart. The slope for the roof was only 5 degrees. It should be steeper, like 10, but I didn't have enough space to do this. Hopefully it will hold for the snow load at wintertime. I also put braces between the rafters, mostly for a more sturdy construction, but also to keep the warmth inside. And for last I put battens on the top, also with a 60 cm space between them. On these battens I will attach and fasten the corrugated roof. I also needed to put up barge boards on all 3 sides. On the one in the front, I will later attach rain gutter leaning out from the greenhouse. Yeah, it was finally time to do the roof. These corrugated roof sheets was 1 meter wide and 3.5 meter long, and I fastened them with regular roofing screws. The last sheet was too wide, so I had to cut it with a regular jigsaw. Before I could put in the windows, I needed to do a framework with a bunch of rods. In between these rods, I will put the window, and they will hold the glass in place. And then I just put in the windows and secured it with rods on the inside. The framework was 1 centimeter bigger on all sides, so if the construction should move around, the glass would be okay. Okay, it was time to do the sliding door, and when you build a door, it's important to use strong hard wood that doesn't bend. I actually used laminated wood, which is used for shelves, countertops and so forth. In the center I would have a window, and then use the wood as a frame around the glass. The door would be 2 meters high and 90 centimeters wide. The wood was only 2 centimeters thick, and to be able to fasten the window with rods, I needed to make it 4 centimeters. So I doubled up all the pieces and glued it together and fastened them with small screws. So now the door was stained and needed to dry. I then started to install the rails which the door would slide on. These rack rails is called sliding barn door kit, and I bought them online for approximately $30. Yes, the door was sliding okay, but I needed to put some more trim on it. In the bottom I fastened a guide rail so the door didn't flutter too much. I also put in a door handle with a rustic look, and for last the window in the center. And to be able to keep the door closed when it's cold outside, I installed a simple door hasp. All the glass was installed except on 2 places. In these openings I would have regular windows that we could open if it gets too warm inside. And for last I installed an automatic vent opener. It has a sensor inside the handle, so when it gets warm in the greenhouse, the window will open by itself. I used the heat gun to see if it worked, and like magic, the window opened by itself. So at last our log greenhouse is now finished. How long did it take? Well, we started in May and was done in August, so it took us a couple of months to get it done. We also put in paving slabs over the gravel and made grow boxes for plant and vegetables. It was a fun project to do, and I hope you liked it too. Cheers!